not because I wanted to, but because life gave me no other choice. My name is Daniel, and for the past 6 years my world had revolved around one person, my little daughter, Lily. After my wife passed away from a sudden illness, I became both father and mother to her. Every dollar I earned went toward rent, school supplies, groceries, and keeping a roof over our heads. There was never enough money, but somehow we always found a way to smile. Every morning, Lily would hug me tightly before school and say, "Daddy, don't work too hard." Those simple words gave me strength. No matter how exhausted I felt, I reminded myself that everything I did was for her future. I worked as an office assistant at one of the biggest marketing companies in the city. The salary wasn't impressive, but it paid the bills, barely. My boss, Victoria Hale, was known throughout the company for being demanding, strict, and impossible to please. She expected perfection from everyone and had little patience for mistakes. Employees feared her more than they respected her. To Victoria, I was almost invisible except when something needed to be done. She often handed me work that wasn't even part of my job description. I stayed late organizing reports, delivering documents, cleaning up after company events, and running errands for executives. Many co-workers wondered why I tolerated it. "You should quit," one of them whispered during lunch. I smiled and shook my head. "I'd love to. But my daughter depends on this paycheck." That answer always ended the conversation. At home, life was completely different. Our apartment was small and old, but it was filled with laughter. Lily and I turned ordinary evenings into adventures. We'd build pillow forts, cook simple dinners together, and read bedtime stories borrowed from the public library. She never complained about not having expensive toys or fancy clothes. One evening she asked, "Daddy, are we poor?" I paused before answering. "We don't have everything we want," I said gently, "but we have each other. That makes us richer than many people." She smiled and hugged me. "I think you're the richest dad in the world." Her words stayed with me for days. Weeks passed, and the workload at the office became even heavier. Victoria seemed more stressed than usual. She spent hours arguing on the phone, cancelled meetings, and barely spoke to anyone except to give orders. Rumors spread that the company was facing financial pressure and that she was going through a painful divorce. I never paid much attention to office gossip. Everyone carries battles that others cannot see. Then came the annual company celebration. It was held at a luxury hotel downtown. Employees dressed elegantly, music filled the ballroom, and expensive food covered every table. I almost skipped the event because I couldn't afford a new suit, but attendance was mandatory. Victoria arrived late, looking confident as always. She greeted important clients with practiced smiles, but something about her expression seemed different. Beneath the polished appearance, she looked exhausted. As the evening continued, I noticed she kept accepting drinks from clients and business partners. One glass became 2, then 4, then many more. Around midnight the party began to end. Employees called taxis or drove home. I stayed behind helping hotel staff clean up company materials. When I finally walked into the parking lot, I saw Victoria sitting alone inside her car. Her hands trembled as she searched for her keys. She tried starting the engine but couldn't even insert the key properly. I knocked gently on the window. "Ms. Harrison." She looked up with tired eyes. "Oh. Daniel. You shouldn't drive." I'm fine." She wasn't. She opened the car door and nearly fell onto the pavement. I caught her before she hit the ground. For a brief moment I hesitated. I could simply call a taxi and leave. After all, this woman had made my life miserable for years. But then I remembered something my late wife used to tell me. Kindness isn't about who deserves it. It's about who you choose to become. Those words made my decision. I helped Victoria into the passenger seat, drove her car to the address listed in the company records, and made sure she reached her house safely. As I stepped inside, I realized the enormous mansion felt strangely empty. No family photos. No laughter. No one waiting for her. Only silence. She stumbled toward the stairs but almost collapsed again. I guided her carefully to her bedroom, placed a glass of water beside the bed, covered her with a blanket, and left a note. Drink this when you wake up. Take care of yourself. Without touching anything else, I quietly locked the front door behind me and walked toward the bus stop in the cold night, wondering how I would explain my late arrival to Lily in the morning. Little did I know, that one decision was about to change both of our lives forever. The next morning, sunlight streamed through the large bedroom windows as Victoria slowly opened her eyes. Her head pounded, and every memory of the previous night came back only in scattered pieces. She remembered the company celebration, the endless drinks, the overwhelming sadness, and then Daniel. After that, everything was a blur. She sat up quickly, surprised to find herself safely tucked into bed. Her shoes had been placed neatly beside the chair. A glass of water rested on the bedside table with a handwritten note. Drink this when you wake up. Take care of yourself. She stared at the note for a long time. Her handbag was still on the dresser. Her expensive jewelry was untouched. Her wallet still contained every dollar. Nothing had been taken. For the first time in years, Victoria felt something she rarely experienced, genuine confusion. She checked the security camera footage from the previous night. The cameras showed Daniel carefully helping her inside after she nearly collapsed at the front door. He never searched through her belongings. He never entered rooms he didn't need to. He simply helped her reach her bedroom, placed the water beside her bed, covered her with a blanket, and quietly walked away. Victoria replayed the footage several times. No one had ever treated her with such respect without expecting something in return. She immediately drove to the office. Send Daniel to my office, she instructed her assistant. The entire staff exchanged nervous looks. Everyone assumed Daniel was about to lose his job. When Daniel knocked on the office door, he felt uneasy. You wanted to see me, Ms. Harrison. Come in. Her voice sounded different. She looked at him silently for a few moments before asking the question that had troubled her all morning. Why didn't you take advantage of the situation? Daniel frowned. I don't understand. You were alone with me. I was unconscious. You could have stolen from me. You could have walked away and left me outside. You could have done anything. Daniel lowered his eyes for a moment before answering. My wife taught me that character is revealed when no one is watching. He paused. And my daughter is always watching the man I become, even when she's not standing beside me. The room fell completely silent. Victoria had expected excuses. She had expected fear. Instead, she found honesty. For the first time in years, tears filled her eyes. You know, she whispered, I've spent my entire career believing everyone has a price. Daniel smiled gently. Some things aren't for sale. Those simple words struck her harder than any business failure ever had. Victoria dismissed him without another word. The rest of the day she couldn't concentrate on work. She thought about her own life. She had built a successful company, earned millions, owned luxury cars and a mansion, yet she ate dinner alone almost every night. Her marriage had ended because success became more important than relationships. She had pushed away friends, ignored family, and treated employees like machines instead of human beings.